In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use a plunger mute the right way. You may have heard the trumpet plunger mute sound before, whether you know it or not. You can hear it on the Charlie Brown cartoons. It's just wah, 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 wah. That's a plunger mute when you hear that sound. I remember hearing it live for the first time, hearing Wynton Marsalis play the trumpet, and it really caught my attention. I wanted to know how to do what he was doing. I have since learned how to play the trumpet plunger, and I'm going to teach you so that you can use the plunger with good technique. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is where you can buy this plunger, because when non-musicians see you with one of these, they always ask, is that a toilet plunger? And I'll say, yes, it is. And then they'll think that I'm being kind of nasty, but I tell them, no, I just go to the hardware store and I bought a fresh one. All right. So that's the first thing you need to know. You can just go to the local hardware store and buy a plunger and you'll be good to go. Now, I think it's important to know what you're looking for when you go to the store to buy your plunger. Now, as trumpet players, you can get away with using a sync plunger. However, I would advise personally against buying the super small plungers. Now, some people would disagree with me, but I personally like when you can cover the bell, because I feel like it gives you more ability to express yourself. So just to show you what I mean, I have a couple of plungers here. I think the size should be about the same diameter as your bell. And so you can see I have that here. This is a good size for me. Now I have another plunger mute here. It's close, but it's a little too big. Let's see if I can show you. You can see it's just going over my bell, and it's kind of clunky. And so in real time, when I'm trying to play, this just gets in the way. Compare it to this here. You can see it's a better fit. All right. I have a third example here. This one's a different shape, but you can see how this is just a better fit. It's not overlapping my bell. So this is something I think you should aim for. Make sure your plunger is about the same size as your bell without overlapping the bead. Okay, when you get your plunger, you're going to notice a thread where normally the stick would go for the toilet or the sink. You don't need the stick, obviously, but in that little hole is where you're going to carve a hole. You're going to carve a hole in the bottom of the plunger. And this is so that the air can pass through the plunger. Because if you don't carve a hole in the plunger, then there's going to be some turbulence. Now, I have a plunger here that I did not carve a hole in. And I'll demonstrate that for you in a second, the difference in the sound. But make sure you carve a hole in your plunger. And then after you carve a hole in your plunger, you're not done yet. It's important that you put a penny inside or a nickel. I personally like to use a nickel because it's a little bigger and just a little heavier. Of course, we're talking, it's not that much heavier than the penny, but it's a little heavier and it does make a little difference in the sound. Go ahead and test that for yourself and see what you like. But in my opinion, your plunger mute is not complete until you put a coin in the hole. Now, if you've done that, you're ready to begin practicing with your plunger. Now, I have a little short excerpt here that we're going to use to practice this lesson. But before I pull it up, I just want you to know that plunger, when you use a plunger, this is a type of ornamentation. So whenever you're using ornamentation in music, if it's a gliss or a fall or a shake, remember that it's ornamentation, or it's icing on the cake, or it's a little bit extra. And so you want to always make sure that the fundamental is in place. In other words, you always want to have a good sound. You always want to play the music in style. You always want to play with good form. And so I'll demonstrate what I mean right now. All right, so let's pull up our example here. I have a melody here. You're probably going to recognize this melody after I play it. Um, it's Duke Ellington's "It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing." I'm gonna turn my microphone down for the trumpet. I'm just gonna play this straight. All right, so it's kind of ironic that I picked this song of all songs. I promise I didn't do it on purpose. But if you're not swinging already, adding the plunger to your work, it's not really going to do much for you. So make sure that you practice your music away from the plunger, get it together, and then add the plunger. All right. Okay, I'm going to show you the three main positions of the plunger. And first, I'm going to use my hand to demonstrate and to practice. This is what you should do. All right, so the first is just open. So you have your hand, you're going to allow your bell just to rest in the palm of your hand. Okay, and then so I have my hand open like so, and this is open position. Okay, and then I'm going to go closed or close. Closed is here, and then halfway is literally in halfway. It's in between the two positions. All right, so I'll show you sideways. So open, closed, and then halfway. So listen to what this sounds like. Now, if I really put my hand deep into the bell, all right, I'm going to do the same thing while with the mic turned down. So you may have noticed that in the close position, the note goes flat. That's really important to know so that you can adjust accordingly. All right, let's go back to the sheet music for an example. So if you've never seen this before, the plunger notation can look like this. Whenever you see a plus sign, that's close. And when you see an O, that's open. All right, so it's going to sound like this. Close. Open. So let's put that together. For the record, I don't like this shape mute for this example. So I'm going to go to my mute plunger that's kind of more flat. Listen to this. And this one is, I didn't cut the hole in this one, and I'll show you why in a minute. But listen to this. Okay. So that's closed open. Let's keep the others open. Dee, dee, da, do, dee, da. How about this? All right. Now, the plunger is known for having that wah effect. Well, what does that look like notated? It looks like so. There's a symbol right there. So whenever you see that, that means wah. Okay? You may or may not see the word spelled out. Now, did you hear that turbulence on that note? That's because I don't have the hole cut in my plunger. All right, so to combat that, let me show you what I'm going to do here. Let's get back to full screen. So to combat that, I'm going to have my plunger a little off center, just so I can have that little gap right there and let the air escape. All right, so check this out. I'm still having that turbulence, but I have to work that out. Um, this is also a good time to point out that you don't necessarily need to have the mute touching the bell to get the effect. Matter of fact, you want a little bit of a gap like so, just the slightest. And so that's going to take practice to get used to. So here's what that sounds like. All right, now if I'm touching, it's going to be turbulence. You heard that break? All right, so just know that you can work that out. All right, now back to the notation. So you got the wah there. Wah do did da. Now let's look at measure 6, because normally when you see stuff like this, you go open and close a lot. Open, close, close, open, close, open. So how would that look? Pluses and circles. And so that's what I'm going to do. All the way down. And so let's play that. This is what it would sound like. So here's the whole thing. Now, one cool thing that I like to do almost every time I use the plunger, I think of it as one sound. I like to growl. So whenever I pick up the plunger, like automatically, mainly I growl. So if you don't know how to growl, it's just simply humming while you play your note. So the pitch that you hum is not really as important as the notes that you're playing on the trumpet. So you can literally hum any note. So that's the note I'm humming. So that's the growl. And now I'm going to combine the growl with the plunger. All right, now sometimes people make the mistake of thinking that growling is the flutter tongue, and those are two different techniques. So let's take a second to talk about the flutter tongue. The flutter tongue is when you roll your tongue as if you're rolling your R's. So, grrr, grrr. So you just blow in and let your tongue lightly touch and flap off the top of the roof of your mouth, and it just keeps going automatically. That's how you flutter tongue. It's the tongue fluttering. All right, so that has a different sound. Let's explore that. I just want you to know flutter tongue and growling are two different techniques. They are not the same thing. So if your music says growl, growl by humming. If it says flutter tongue by rolling your R's and letting your tongue bounce off the roof of your mouth. Okay, and that's the flutter tongue. All right, let's put all of the techniques together. I'm going to play this melody for you and combine everything that we talked about. Okay, I want to tell you about one more cool effect that I wanted to share with you. If you press your mute on your bell, the pressure is going to build up, and then you release it, and it sounds like whap. But you also have to add a tongue cutoff. All right, and it has a really cool effect. Check this out. All right, one more thing I want to share with you. If you do like a multiple tongue, like a triple tonguing, doo-ga-doo, 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 doo-ga-doo. It has also another really cool effect. Listen to this. If you want more trumpet lessons, then click or tap on the video right here on the screen, and I'll see you there.